The Earth gave a violent shudder. Deep beneath the Pacific near the Tonga Trench, a section of the planet's crust ruptured a magnitude 9.1 earthquake. On nearby islands, the shaking was catastrophic, but the real threat was the water it displaced. A silent, invisible pulse raced outward at jetliner speed. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii lit up. Sirens wailed across thousands of miles of coastline. For millions, a peaceful night turned into a desperate scramble for survival. The alert was immediate and uncompromising: tsunami warning. Evacuate low-lying areas immediately. Panic exploded. People abandoned meals, grabbed children, and ran. The warnings were commands, not suggestions, issued to nearly every nation touching the Pacific. In Japan, memories of 2011 fueled urgent, practiced evacuations. Loudspeakers echoed "Tsunami, evacuate now." Families piled into cars, creating instant gridlock. The system worked, but triggered a cascade of terror. In New Zealand and Chile, the alert arrived hours later, but the fear was just as fresh. Residents poured out of homes, staring at the ominous sea. The warning system connected millions in a shared moment of dread. It drew a circle of fear around the largest body of water on Earth. The world held its breath, waiting for a monster to emerge from the deep. The Pacific Rim was united by a single terrifying question: would the wave come? The ocean's calm masked the threat beneath. Humanity braced for impact. The first wave to hit wasn't water, it was digital. Social media became a supercharged engine of chaos as official alerts spread. #Pacific Tsunami trended worldwide within minutes. TikTok and X flooded with videos of gridlocked highways and terrified families. Viral clips showed raw fear: a woman in Maui sobbing as she fled, traffic unmoving, the ocean looming. Misinformation spread faster than facts. Doctored images, fake data, rumors of 100-foot waves. False posts became reality for many, fueling panic and irrational decisions. Facebook groups turned into frantic forums for survival, with people begging for help and information. The digital panic was its own disaster, amplifying fear and confusion. On WeChat, Line, and KakaoTalk, the fear spread just as quickly. Voice notes and frantic messages crossed continents, connecting families in dread. Technology united the world in a single, primal fear. The tsunami was still hours away, but the psychological impact had already made landfall. The digital world magnified the terror. The wave of fear claimed its first victims before the ocean could. In Honolulu, evacuation gridlock turned deadly. A man died of a heart attack, unreachable by paramedics. In Sendai, Japan, a woman was trampled in a stampede at a shelter. Panic fractured the discipline of disaster response, turning neighbors into obstacles. In Wellington, a couple with a newborn spent their first night home in a crowded gym, fear replacing joy. Economic losses mounted instantly. Ports shut down, fishing fleets scrambled, businesses emptied, supply chains froze. The cost of evacuation, fuel, lost productivity, emergency overtime, would reach billions. But the immediate cost was measured in terror, separated families, and lives lost on the roads. The fear was a disaster of its own. The tsunami hadn't arrived, but the damage was real. The warning system saved lives, but also took them. The price of panic was steep. At the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, scientists faced an agonizing decision. The quake's data screamed catastrophe, a 9.1 in the Tonga Trench. Models predicted a Pacific-wide tsunami. The first buoys confirmed a massive displacement. They issued the highest warning, knowing the risk of inaction was unthinkable. But as hours passed, deep ocean buoys showed a smaller wave than expected. The quake's energy had dissipated sideways, not upward, a rare, low-slip event. The initial shock looked catastrophic, but the mechanics were different. Scientists debated, reran models, and finally began lifting warnings region by region. The monster was a ghost. Dawn revealed a surreal landscape. The great wave had never come. The ocean was calm, but the coasts were not unscathed. Highways were littered with abandoned cars. Cities were ghost towns. The human toll, dozens dead, none from drowning. Fatal accidents, heart attacks, injuries from panic. The fear had been the disaster. Economic fallout was immense. Ports shut, flights canceled, businesses looted, emergency costs soared. Families returned home to relief and anger. Their ordeal had left deep scars. The sense of safety was gone, replaced by trauma and distrust. The tsunami hadn't arrived, but it left psychological wounds. The warning saved lives, but at a heavy cost. The world learned how fear itself can devastate. Relief gave way to recrimination. The public and media demanded answers. How could experts get it so wrong? Tsunami Warning Center officials faced harsh criticism for causing chaos and death. Trust in protective institutions was shaken. Scientists defended their actions. Given the data, they had no choice. A 9.1 quake in that location demanded a warning. Waiting for perfect information would be deadly. "We will always err on the side of caution," they insisted. "The system is designed to trigger on possibility, not certainty." They pointed to the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami as the alternative. No warning, mass death. The chaos of a false alarm, while tragic, was preferable to a surprise disaster. But for many, better safe than sorry rang hollow. The debate exposed a paradox. The more effective a warning, the more its success looks like failure. Public trust, once lost, is hard to regain. Amid chaos, stories of resilience emerged. In a helo shelter, a woman gave birth with help from evacuees, a symbol of hope in darkness. In Peru, a mayor organized teams to carry the elderly to safety, neighbors helping neighbors. Strangers pushed a broken-down car, then gave the family a ride to safety. The digital world, too, became a platform for heroism. Amateur radio operators in California relayed information and reunited families. Facebook pages helped drivers avoid gridlock, saving lives. In Auckland, a Sikh temple fed returning evacuees, offering comfort and community. These acts of kindness countered the chaos. Even in fear, humanity's instinct to help shone through. The darkest night revealed the brightest acts of compassion. 1 year later, the ghost of the wave still haunts the Pacific. The physical scars have healed, but psychological ones remain. Sirens trigger anxiety, the ocean is viewed with wary respect. The cry wolf effect is real. Next time, some may hesitate. That hesitation could be fatal. Public campaigns urge, every warning must be taken seriously. Scientists work on smarter models, governments on better evacuation plans and communication. The goal: warn people without causing a secondary disaster of panic. The lessons were paid for in fear and cannot be forgotten. The system proved it could alert millions, but also how fragile order is. Fear itself became a destructive force. The question remains, what happens next time if the monster is real? Will we be ready, or will doubt cost lives?